The Chamber of Commerce and Industry says it condemns in the strongest terms the looting of businesses, damage to property and intimidation and victimization of people. It says that these violent protests are damaging the image of the country by the minute, and this will lead to a lack of foreign investment. Parts of Gauteng and KwaZulu-Natal have been gripped by scenes of violent destruction of businesses, property, the closure of major arterial roads and the intimidation of truck drivers. Saki says law enforcement should address this matter with urgency, arrest and prosecute perpetrators of these violent criminal acts. Meanwhile, Nedbank on its Facebook page says it has taken the decision to close all of its branches in KwaZulu-Natal and several branches in Gauteng due to the protest action. Let's take you back now to my colleague Maagektla Mohlabe, who is in Katlehong for us. Maageketla, what's happening where you are?
The looting continues here at Letsoho Mall, and as you can see, people are getting in at any shop, the shop that they are able to break in, and anything that they are able to put their hands on. As you can see, some of course helping each other to carry the fridges. They look very heavy, but it looks like any packet. I can see some carrying packets of biscuits. They are actually running away from the police signalers that are actually just arrived now. And some of the shops that I see here, I see Spar Tops, I see KFC looted. I can also see one of the shops that actually sells meat, the door ripped open. And it's quite disturbing to also see kids carrying the stolen items there. And I can tell you that this is a disturbing picture because then it means that even when it comes to lawlessness, there's no age restriction. And I can tell you that chairs are being pulled out of these shops here. Police, well, they are just arriving on Nyalas, and I even had any gunshot at this stage, and one wonders, have they ran out of ammunition? And that's what's happening right now. People trying to hide in these shops as well once they see the police nyalas and police vans. Other people trying to hide as well from the police van, and one of the kids as well trying to run away there. And it's quite a disturbing picture that we are seeing here in Nompu. But I can tell you that police continue to appear to be outnumbered at this stage. All they can do is to just arrive with the vans in the vans and just try to actually get rid of the crowds here. But it's been quite a difficult situation for them to deal with at this stage, as my colleague Sputembe is trying to actually get you a better picture there from that fence. And this is just a police nyala and a police van that have just arrived here and in an attempt to actually get rid of the looters who were actually serving up this particular area that's now a bit empty. But I can tell you, once police come this side, then the crowd runs to the other side. Once police go to the other side, then the crowds run to this side. It is going to be quite a difficult night shift for police at this stage, I can tell you. And the build-up is already showing that police continue to be outnumbered by these particular looters. Some of them, yes, continue to use rocks towards police, using stones to sort of get rid of police, but police on the other side as well, they want to be safe. They want to actually make sure that they are out of the harm's way. As you can see, they are trying to actually disperse the crowds with rubber bullets. but it is just a futile exercise for them. This is not working at this stage, Nombu. This is the picture that's been playing out throughout the day. For them to just use rubber bullets to try and disperse the crowd. And when they go to where the crowd is, then the crowd then go in different directions. And then once police clear the area and try to go to the other side, then the crowds will then be back here.
Yeah.
So it is just quite chaotic here at Letsoho Mall. And as you can see, police now trying to charge towards them. On the ground, it is just chaotic, rubble, all the stuff that were stolen, some of them left by the looters once police arrived here. But it is just a fruitless exercise.
Maageketla, I wanted to ask you, what have your observations been when you've seen the crowds? What have your observations been around the observance of COVID-19 protocols? I don't suppose criminality and a COVID-19 pandemic really gel that well, but are people wearing masks and looting at the same time, or they just don't give a damn?
Well, I mean, at this stage, I can tell you that COVID-19 is just the list of the problems now. What we are worried about at this stage is to get any item that they are able to get their hands on to actually take home. So COVID-19 is the least of their problems at this stage, and we are in Gauteng, mind you, a province that's actually facing high infection rates when it comes to COVID-19. And as you can see, ATMs have been broken. Many of the ATMs, some of them, of course, banned. And I mean, this is just an attempt by the looters to actually get whatever cash that they may be able to get on these ATMs. I mean, they have been dismantled. But to go back to your question, I mean, it is just the least of their problems at this stage. COVID-19, it looks like it doesn't exist anymore. What they are worried about at this stage is to actually loot the last item that's on the ground that they may be able to get their hands on. At this stage where we are, police keeping a close watch. As you can see, this Nyala here, police Nyala, and then over that side is just a lot of people watching on, probably even tired to actually hurl the stones at the police at this stage. Police as well tired to pull the trigger. It is just a chaotic scene here at Letsoho Mall. And as you can see, many of the crowds on the other side of this mall trying to actually make sure that police are out of this space where we are, so that they may then come back to continue with the looting. But Nompu police are overwhelmed. They are outnumbered. They are not able to cope at this stage.
Maageketla, you know, it's quite ironic seeing all the damage to the various infrastructure there. And when the dust is settled and this scenario passes, people will be fed up that they have to go that much further to go and access an ATM or their local shops. They're going to have to go further to go and buy that loaf of bread or whatever it may be.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a concern that was raised by some of the residents who are just watching on. And I don't know if we may be able to walk towards that side spool so that we can just get a sense of what they feel. You would actually excuse us. We are facing the light at this stage. The picture might not be that pretty. We're just gonna try and pull towards where some of the residents have actually said that they are willing to speak to us whenever we would like to get their views at this stage. And we're just gonna try to rush there to speak to them, because it's quite important as well, Nompu, to get a sense of what their views are about, the goings on that are taking place here. And I can tell you that there has been quite a huge concern among other residents who's saying that they work here at the mall, but then the issue is that once they return here, then wanting to continue with work in order to support their families, then it's going to be quite a challenge, because the money that they're going to have to then get paid to actually continue supporting their families is then going to be used to replace the damage that's taken place at this particular mall. So we are just trying to get a sense of what they feel about what's happening here, because it's actually quite important to get their views. Gentlemen, thanks for waiting for us here. I know it's been quite a long day. We just want to get your sense here about what's happening here. And you are concerned residents who have been watching the whole scenes, police running about trying to disperse the crowds, and they look helpless.
I think there are a lot of people around here who are overpowering the police, to be precise. But then, if maybe I had power, I think it will be better and precise for the president to deploy the army, because we are saddened. Some of us are working here. That's where we're getting our bread for our kids. Myself, as I'm talking to you, I'm hungry. But it's sad. It's very sad. It's very sad.
Other than your plea to actually get the army down here to try and defuse the situation, we have police, as you mentioned, they are outnumbered. You work here, you need to support your family, you are helpless. Do you think this is even more about former president being incarcerated as we're speaking?
No. That one I'm just precisely pushing it away. You can see a clear crime. This is looting. This is crime. Then one could be precise to say, if people are saying, release the president, why can't they go to the police stations? These are the people who kept the president. Why can't they go to the courts? Why us? Why us? We buy tools. We didn't steal them. We buy them, and we need to work. But then, from what you see now, honestly, we are helpless as workers here as well.
ATMs are bent, and that's what we just saw now. They are dismantled. This is where I'm sure when you need to take money out for your children to go to school, you will come to. Everything is being dismantled now.
And I cannot loot much on the ATMs because I've never managed to get inside. I've been roaming around the gates next to the police for the safety, yes, to speak. But then it is senseless. And then if people loot the shops where they are buying food, honestly, where are we going to buy food? Then we are left to go to Albert. We'll walk to Albert. Politically, I will say, look, whites are safe in Albert, are much more safe. But look at us, we are vulnerable. At the end of the day, if you were looking at your tweets during the week, there's somewhere where a former president of the PAC alluded on this, and that what is victory out of this? This is one of the centers where I work, and then I could be a boy of the bosses. Yeah. And then a couple of weeks back, some shacks were burned down in Mandela. I was in that party, sending food. We were sending food parcel. 30 families were fed out of that. Honestly, if maybe something like that can happen, where would they get the money? Where would they get the food? To be precise.
Township economy is now badly affected in Katlehong as well.
Not alone Katlehong, because if you look at the news around the country, in Durban this morning, a shower here, and township economy is all about us. I'm not sure whether maybe if one could say, if we talk about township economy, then we'll have to have whites moving out of their formerly suburbs, come here, make their money out of the same township economy, which we believe that it's us or nobody. But then if we do this to ourselves, honestly, please, we plea, we need security. That's a plea, then that we can save our jobs. Come end of the month, who's going to be paid here? Nobody. How would you get paid while you did no work, no pay? If you expect your boss to pay you, with what? I mean, didn't celebrate, you expect to be paid. Honestly, guys, please.
Thank you.
I think.
Thank you so much. Just a view from one of the workers here at this mall to say we are helpless. They've been standing here watching the scenes here, helpless, because they are seeing flames coming from this mall here. They are seeing the damage that's been caused by this looting. And this looting continues unabated. Police are doing what they have to do, but they are outnumbered. His plea is to actually see the army coming through. Maybe, just maybe, this situation, this chaos would then be diffused, but it remains to be seen. We are going to be giving you every detail that comes from the field here in Katlehong, and as we are watching all the chaotic scenes at display here in Katlehong.
Maageketla, thank you very much for that report. A very sad interview there with that gentleman saying, where are they going to buy their food? Where are they going to access money, from the ATM, given that the ATMs have been destroyed? Very sad indeed.